Hi boys and girls, welcome back to Story Time with Miss Sharp. I hope that you'll enjoy the story I've selected today. It's The Tiny Seed by Carle. Love his artwork, and it's really easy to replicate or to make on your own. Just if you are interested, you can stop the video when you're watching or go back after you've listened to the whole story and pick one of the pictures that you want to create and just study it a little bit and see what techniques he uses. There's a lot of spatter you can see is one of his techniques, and you could do that easily with like an old toothbrush or an old paintbrush and dip it in and wet it a little bit, get just a little bit of paint on it, and then you can flick the little bristles so that it gives that spattery look. And that could be your background, and then you can of course do some watercolor painting or acrylic painting, or even cut out of construction paper, or just draw it and color with crayons or markers. There's some beautiful illustrations in here, and I hope you enjoy the story. The Tiny Seed. It is autumn, and a strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high in the air, and it carries them far across the land. One of the seeds is tiny, smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up with the others? And where are they all going? One of the seeds flies higher than the others. Up, up it goes, and it flies too high, and the sun's hot rays burn it up. But the tiny seed sails on with the others. You can see the one burning up right here. Another seed lands on a tall, icy mountain. The ice never melts, and the seed cannot grow. The rest of the seeds fly on, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as the others. And there's all the other seeds flying on, and the one that landed here on top of the icy mountain, it's not going to grow. Now they fly over the ocean, and one seed falls into the water and it drowns. But the others sail on with the wind, but the tiny seed does not go as high as the others. One seed drifts down onto the desert. It is hot and dry, and the seed cannot grow. Now the tiny seed is flying very low, but the wind pushes it on with the others. So here's the one that landed in the desert, and it's too dry. It needs water to grow, doesn't it? And it needs warmth from the sun. So the tiny seed, here it is. It's tinier than all the others. The wind is still pushing it. Finally, the wind stops. And what happens to the seeds? The wind stopped. It's not being carried anymore by the wind. That's right. It falls gently down on the ground. And a bird comes by and it eats one seed. The tiny seed is not eaten though. It is so small that the bird does not see it. Now it is winter. After their long trip, the seeds, they settle down, and they look as if they are going to sleep in the earth. Snow falls and it covers them like a soft white blanket, and a hungry mouse that also lives in the ground, it eats a seed for his lunch, but the tiny seed lies very still, and the mouse does not even see it. Now it is spring, and it's spring here, isn't it? After a few months, the snow has melted. It is really spring. Birds fly by, and the sun shines, and rain falls, and the seeds grow so round and full full that they start to burst open a little. Now they are not seeds anymore. They have become plants. First, they send their roots down into the earth, and then their little stems and leaves begin to grow up toward the sun and air. There's another plant that grows much faster than the new little plants. It is a big, fat weed. We have a lot of those around here. And it takes all the sunlight and the rain away from one of the small new plants. And then that little plant has to die. The tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. It will be too late. Hurry! But finally, it too starts to grow into a plant. So, I think that's the big fat weed. But here, you see the sun, the rain, the soil, all these important elements that a seed needs to begin growing into a plant. The warm weather also brings the children out to play, and they too have been waiting for the sun and springtime, just like you. One child doesn't see the plants as he runs along, and oh, he breaks one, and now it cannot grow anymore. See that big foot on that little plant? Just broke it right over. The tiny plant that grew from the tiny seed is growing fast now, but its neighbor grows even faster. Before the tiny plant has 3 leaves, the other plant has 7. And look, a bud. And now it has even become a flower. But what is happening? First there are footsteps, and then a shadow looms over them, and then a hand reaches down and breaks off the flower. I've done that. I've already done that this spring. I've gone and cut some flowers from our garden and took them inside. A boy has picked the flower to give to his friend. It is summer now, and the tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. It grows on, and it doesn't stop. The sun shines on it, and the rain waters it. It has many leaves, and it grows taller and taller. It is taller than the people. It's taller than the trees. It is taller than the houses, and now a flower grows on it. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It is the tallest flower that they have ever seen. It's a giant flower. Wow. All summer long, the birds and bees and the butterflies come visiting. They've never seen such a big and beautiful flower. I love this picture. I think I love this one the most. It's just so happy, and all of the creatures that come out, and they depend on the plants and pollination, and then the sun is so shiny and happy, and it's just, I love that picture. That's my favorite. But now it is autumn again, and the days grow shorter, and the nights grow cooler, and the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower, and some petals drop from the giant flower, and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down to the ground. You see, the cycle starts all over again, doesn't it? The wind blows harder, and the flower has lost almost all of its petals. It sways and bends away from the wind. You see it? But the wind grows stronger, and it shakes the flower. And once more, the wind shakes the flower. And this time, the flower's seed pods open. And out come many tiny seeds that quickly sail far away on the wind, just like the seed that grew this flower. All of these tiny seeds are being blown by the wind. And that is the end of this storybook, The Tiny Seed by Carle. I hope you enjoyed that, and think about the life cycle of plants and flowers in particular, because coming up in the next few weeks we're going to be talking about different life cycles, okay? Have a good day.